Okay, pilots, I'm gonna see if I can get my sound system mounted in my Stuka. I've been looking at it here for a little while. Took a break, watched Jeff in Lower Alabama chat show, another great show. But I hadn't run into a problem, but I've run into being kind of tight, Gonna be kind of tight here. I'm gonna get you look here. I got that speaker sitting in there. And I've cut an area out of it. Like this. So that was in there. This is the front edge. And then this is the siding where I took a big chunk out of the side of it too, to make sure that that speaker was nothing touching it. And I've got to glue that down where nothing is touching it. And hopefully that'll be my flat spot there for the speaker to sit. Now, the actual unit itself, this thing's pretty wide. See here, it's a good, I'm gonna have it flipped over like this when I put it in there. It's gonna have about a 1/4 inch shaving off of each side here to where it can just kind of sit right down in there is what I'm gonna do. This area here needs some air going by it, so it's gonna be right in an opening here in between the receiver and the speaker. So to have air be coming through this area here to cool the unit, to where I can pick it up out, push the button to change whatever I want to, turn the volume up, plug it into another port. And in order to put a new sound card in it, you got to just literally almost take this thing completely apart. So I'm not gonna do that. Hopefully the Stuka will be on here. And hopefully another thing is, pilots, is I'm hoping that I can hook this thing up without going through the throttle. Because pilots, I'm not going, well, if I have to, I have to. But I don't really want the motor sound. I don't want that. All I want is for this to go into a switch that I can hit and turn that siren on. See, that's what I want. And if I have to put the motor in, that'll be fine too. But I've got to wire this into the throttle, okay? And I've also got to wire the, whichever port this is, it's got the siren on it. I'm gonna be wiring that into the flaps. Because when you go into a dive and you're going on your bomb run, that's what they got these big barn door flaps for, slow the plane down on the dive so I can get a good accurate drop. So whenever I hit them flaps going on down on my dive, it's gonna start that siren up. So hopefully all I need is a 7-channel receiver. That way I'll have a channel for my bomb, tee that into my flaps for those siren. And if I have to, I can, you tee into the throttle anyway. All right, and then main power. Here's a speaker lead. See, I've took that plug that was on the original speaker, and I'm gonna cut it off. And this is just a female end from a battery plug, the little, I can't remember what they call them, but it fit right in there and it plugged right in. Just, it's just the other end other than this one. But this goes into the battery, which, all I got here is just a little hookup for a 4-cell battery, and I plug it right in. But I'm gonna wire or plug in a male here and a female onto my speaker I can unplug it right here, unplug it right here, and take the whole unit out, and unplug the battery, you know, from here, and then put this unit in the other Stuka that'll have the other speaker in the same place. I have this ring on that Stuka. So now that I've took 30 minutes to explain it, let's see if we can get this done. Let's see if we can get it done. I hope I can get that siren to work without having to have the throttle going, but you never know. You never know till we get here. That hat's gonna keep it from going level. There we go. So I've got my speaker in there. I hadn't got it glued down. Now I've got to start cutting away on the side here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this throttle cable out here. Oh, there goes something. And let's fire truck. And I've got tape on the top here to hold these wires down. Goodness gracious, what a nest already, and I'm putting more in it. I got to move my antenna for my receiver. It's right here too. Had it taped down. Let's move that out of the way. Like I said, I've got the speaker setting where it's going to be. It's not touching anything on the sides, not touching the front, and it's going right over the top of the receiver itself with just the battery connection. I mean, the lead connections. You know how speakers got them leads sticking out there. So literally what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off. Don't need that on there. Leave that on there though. This is going to be upside down. And I'm trying to line up that cooling vent to right in between that space of the speaker and the receiver. Get my wires out of the way. So that's going to be needing to cut there. And really all I have to do is a little bit. But the switch and stuff is over here. I've got to have enough room for that right there to clear. Yeah, protrudes out there a little bit. So again, let me lay it up here. Because the first layer of it will fit right down in there. It's just this next layer here. And that plug. So it's literally going to be a little shelf there that it's sitting on. Didn't mark much. I'm gonna do it like that. Let me see here. What did I do with my screwdriver? Should have been a cut. It's not a cut. Okay. If I didn't have to get it so low, pilots, because the canopy sits down in it about 1/4 inch. So it's got to get down there as low as it can because we've got this 1/4 inch lip here. And if I shave that off, it's gonna be paper thin in here at the pilot where the pilot's glued in. Because I can just about sit here and push on it right here and move the pilot up and down. So it's already thin right there. So I've got to get this thing down. That's what we're doing here. I'm going to cut this in a slight angle so in case it kind of just maybe would kind of wedge it in there like and hold it, you know what I mean? I can always cut the bottom flat later if I need to. Let me get these wires out of the way first. Alright, there's that piece. Which one? Where's speaker, power, yes, but upside down. Get this out of the way, and out of the way, out of the way. Okay, that's looking good so far. Looks like I'm gonna have some rain, but I'm gonna cut this little section right here down flat where I'm believing that little switch and plug right there is going to slide right into a little groove right here that I'm cutting out. Trying to cut that little block out for that button and that plug to fit into. Now let's see where it goes. That was a perfect cut. Now I need, I believe, just a little bit lower with this one. Get this over here. Get this out of the way. I'm gonna go level with this cut that I made here. I'm having to try to flex this knife here a little bit to get a good level cut. I'm gonna pull it out about halfway through and start back over here on the other side because I'm putting a lot of pressure on that blade or I won't snap it. Make sure I'm cutting it in the right place too. I'm not cutting a lead anywhere, no leads, none in the way. Okay, here we go. Alright, made that cut. Now I'm gonna make my straight down cut here on the wall. Piece out. Now let's see where we at. And remember, pilots, I've got to do the same thing to my other Stuka. Same thing. Now I'm putting the speaker and half of the unit, excuse me, but not down here. Half of the unit is going to be sitting right, just pretty much right on the center of gravity. I put a, let's see, what is it? 4-cell 2600? Yeah, I believe that's what it is. 2600 4-cell Admiral battery. And it gives me a perfect CG with the bomb on it. And that looks like pilots. That looks like it's freed up all the way down, but I can still move my speaker without it hitting it. Don't move too much up. Yep, it's not even hitting the speaker, sitting flat down on my little stage there. So one more test, one more thing we gotta test. One more thing, and let's see. Goodness gracious, where is all that gonna be going? That's going to be a question. Now my throttle cable can go down up underneath it, but them battery cables, the battery cables, or they're going to be going down across the top of it. Oof. Oof. Plus that one is not quite long enough to make it all the way. Boy, that ain't gonna be good. That ain't gonna be good. Alright, that means can't touch that speaker. It's always something, Paul. It's always something. It's always something. You got to keep thinking and keep figuring out what in the world's gonna do. What am I gonna have to do? What am I gonna have to do? That battery lead, stay away from the speaker right there. There goes my throttle cable. Son of a gun. I don't know. Let me see here. Well, I knew it was going to be tight. I knew it was going to be tight. Okay. Let me get this in here. And having to put a dadgum ET60 adapter on it really ain't helping miners neither. Sure ain't. I'll have to look to see if I got another battery. Let's see. Let's put this in there. I can't go any lower whatsoever. Because it'll be laying on top of that speaker then. I can't have anything touching the speaker. Yep, that's sitting perfectly right there. This will be sitting there, plugged up. Put that in there. God. Oh, have mercy. Come on, FMS. You got to give people room to do something. I know this thing is an old model and stuff, but Jesus. Alright, that'll plug like that. This thing's way too small. Can't go forward, can't touch that. Ain't no way that's gonna close. With that battery lead right there on it. And that plug right there on it. Ain't no way. Boy, it's gonna be a thin wall right there. But that's the only choice I got. That's the only choice I have. Because this unit cannot go down any lower. But it is low enough. But if I can get this dadgum thing right here sitting somewhere, because I can't stuff it back up in there. Can't do it. The ESC's right there. The ESC's got to let air pass by it. So it can't go this way. It's gonna have to go over here where I can cut another little channel for it to sit. let's go ahead. Let's kind of round that cut right there where that cable won't be in such a bind if it is sitting there pretty close. Get that throttle cable down there. I'm gonna cut a channel for it and run it so it'll stay off that speaker. I'll have that out of the way there. The plug for the unit itself. Let's see, this way. Get all the plugs out of the way. It's got to sit in that perfect spot so that button and that plug won't hit nothing. That gives that room to plug up there. This is going to run over here. Uh-oh, I might have to cut some more out. Let's see, yep. Alright. If we get some more out, we got them around this edge here over too for the cable to barely get around that unit without putting pressure on it. Do not pull. Yeah, it'd take about as much time to get this thing plugged up and ready to fly as it will a balsa gas plane. Yep, that's gonna slide in there right there and be there. And that's all gonna be all right there in the way. Right there in the way. Right there in the way. Everything's off the speaker. Everything's off. Down in their little channel. I'll have to show you that some more for sure. I got it cut already there in the angle. Let's go ahead and, goodness gracious, I knew I was going to do that. Where'd the razor blade go? Trying to make a little bit more room for that battery lead. You can slide by right there. Might be some gun parts once you look at it. Snap right now. And if it wants to pop up parts, I can always put 2 more magnets down here and make that stronger. But I don't really feel a lot of upward pressure on it, like something's there pushing it up. You know what I mean? I mean, you know the feeling. It don't. It just feels like that magnet's holding it down right there. And this is gonna be plugged in together right here. It looks like that might do it, pilots. But I've got to do all that shaving and cutting on my other one. All these same cuts here. I'll see what I can do. Tomorrow morning, I'll wire it up, get that speaker glued down, and we'll try it out. I'm out.